A small blue flame is probably my most familiar form to you. Of course, I am natural gas.
Hello, I'm Lisa Sorg, environmental investigative reporter with NC Newsline, a nonprofit newsroom based in Raleigh. I cover environmental issues statewide, including pipelines and landfills, air pollution, and drinking water. One of my main goals is to provide communities with information they can use to advocate for themselves, to protect their health, and to share with others. In that spirit, I decided to create short tutorials. These will show communities how to get at the very same information I use in my work every day. Over the next 10 minutes, you'll get a wealth of information about pipelines, the different types, where they're located in North Carolina, where they're proposed to run, who regulates them, and how to track incidents and enforcement. All of the links and resources in this video will be included in a transcript at ncnewsline.com, so you can bookmark it and return to it on demand. If you'd like to see a previous how-to about drinking water, here's the link. Now, on to pipelines. This is the main web page of the federal agency that oversees pipeline safety. It's officially known as the Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Safety Administration, but you might hear it referred to as PIMSA for short. Go to Resources, and then National Pipeline Mapping System. I'm interested in Rockingham County because the proposed route for the MVP Southgate project will enter there. MVP Southgate hasn't published its new maps yet, but based on the most recent announcements, it looks like the pipeline will enter somewhere near Eden and near these two existing lines, the Transco and the Eastern Tennessee line. The blue lines are the routes for natural gas pipelines, and the red lines represent the routes for hazardous liquids, such as diesel fuel or gasoline, crude oil, aviation fuel. So who owns and operates these pipelines? Right-click on a pipeline and then click on Identify. You'll see the ownership and contact information. This long one is Transco. This short one, the Eastern Tennessee line, and this one headed east is Public Service of North Carolina. It's also known as PSNC. It's owned by Dominion. Next up, hazardous liquids. Colonial Pipeline had a major gasoline spill in a nature preserve in Huntersville, which is in northern Mecklenburg County. It turned out to be the largest onshore gasoline spill, I believe, in U.S. history. Let's go back to the public viewer and look at Mecklenburg County. Once we see Mecklenburg County, we have an option to click on a blue dot, which will show you any natural gas accidents. But since this is a hazardous liquid incident, we're going to click on the purple dot. And this lists the amount of gasoline spilled in barrels. 1 barrel equals 42 gallons. 47,619 barrels. Well, that's almost 2 million gallons. Now, let's say you want to measure the distance between the Colonial Pipeline spill and these homes. You click on the ruler, and then you click on the homes, and when you double click, it will give you the mileage. And this particular mileage is just a little over 1/10 of a mile. about the length of a city block. Next up, we'll track enforcement, going after the bad guys.
Centerville, how's your pressure? The pressure on line B4 is holding well. We're watching in case it drops.
Start at the home page with regulations and compliance, and then you go to enforcement. And you get an overview page, but what you really want is to keep drilling down to pipeline enforcement website and then the enforcement transparency webpage. And you will see a lot of links. Let's start with enforcement by operator. Now I'm going to look at Transco just because they're in North Carolina, but they also have, 10,000 miles of pipeline. So it wouldn't be unthinkable that they're going to have some violations. So here you can see the number of cases initiated. You can kind of look at trends. You don't know if, for example, if PIMSA was being more aggressive when these cases were initiated, or whether over time Transco just got better at monitoring their pipeline. That would require more digging. Several new or expanded pipelines are being proposed for North Carolina. There's the Dominion line, 45 miles between Eden and Roxborough, and of course MVP Southgate, and the expansion of the Transco line in west central North Carolina. An important point, pipelines that stay within the boundaries of North Carolina, they are under the purview of the North Carolina Utilities Commission. Pipelines that cross state lines, like MVP Southgate or Transco, they are under the purview of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, also known as FERC. And we're going to look briefly at those websites so that you can learn how to subscribe to the dockets and get alerts about those projects or any project you'd like to track. Go to the e-library. Now you can subscribe to docket alerts for certain projects, but you need the docket number. Well, you search for like the keyword MVP Southgate, and then right here, you'll see the docket number. If you subscribe to a docket, you will get alerted via email every time a document is filed on that project. Finally, the North Carolina Utilities Commission website, which if you think FERC is a hellscape, are you in for a treat? I often go to the events calendar first. These are the hearings, for example. And when you see these dockets, G means gas, E means electricity or electric, and W means water. Let's go to April, and you'll see this E100. Oh, I see that's Duke Energy. Well, what are they up to? These hearings are about Duke's carbon plan and integrated resource plan. That's a fancy way of saying this is the utility's proposed mix of natural gas, nukes, coal, and renewable energy to keep us from going extinct from climate change. Now, you can comment on this plan, you can go to the hearings, and you can subscribe to this docket as well, just like the FERC site. While these are the official websites for pipelines, there is one hosted by the Pipeline Safety Trust. They're an advocacy group that tracks incidents, penalties, and policy. It's a fabulous website, very easy to navigate, and the folks there are easy to find and very approachable. So that was a bit of a slog. Such is the nature of energy reporting. The powers that be don't make it easy. Nonetheless, I hope you learned a few basics about how to get at the information. If you have questions, here is my email, or you can contact me via social media. Until next month, happy digging.